Ball fam, Cat in the Hat here of your AFCEastieBoys. We had a great week one. I'm not gonna lie, there was some ups and downs. We definitely had a fun week one though. Sunday night game was one for the record books for sure. And we have a lot to talk about. We got starts, we got sits, we got sleepers that are sitting on most of your waiver wires right now, and we want to put them on your roster to use in week two. And we're going to cover all of that tonight. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at matchups. We're going to look at the players that you need to be putting on your roster this week so that you can win your matchup. You can win your week two matchup. Did you have a bad week one like a lot of people around the league did? You know, there wasn't a lot of first rounders that put up points this weekend. Is that a sign of really good defenses? Well, if you go and look at the defenses from around the league, not a lot of them put up big points. Is that just week one jitters? Still kind of like preseason football? Is it because there's a bunch of new faces in the league and teams are still, figuring out who's their number one guys? I don't know. We're going to break that down for you, and we're going to let you know who you should keep rolling with or who you should sell now. But before we get into all that, it's the late night. It's Wednesday night. So go ahead, get your drinks, snacks, pizza, popcorn, whatever it is you want. Kick your feet up and enjoy.
Well, all right, Ron, it's been great talking to you.
Like and subscribe anyways.
Like and subscribe anyways.
And if you don't agree with that, that's too bad. Smash that like and subscribe anyways. Welcome in. It's going to be a new fun year for the AFCEastieBoys, and I'm glad to have everyone along for the ride. We're going to do our best to make sure we can get here weekly to make sure your fantasy picks are in. And don't worry, don't forget, make sure you hop in that Discord so that you can get your parlays. Because not all of my parlays, not all of Waffle's parlays are going to hit the airwaves. We're not going to put all of them out there on YouTube. Some of them you're going to have to be in the Discord in order to get a hold of. Not to mention lots of other people in the Discord putting out parlays. We're trying to make this a community. So you feel something good, like you put a parlay together and you're feeling really good about it, don't be scared. Toss it up in the Discord. Show it off. Maybe we can talk our way through it. Because sometimes early enough, Hard Rock Bets, these places, they let you, they try and buy your bet back. So sometimes you can even make a couple cents if something doesn't look right. Like somebody gets an injury or an injury designation going into the game. We're going to let you know these things so that you can go and make sure your parlays are taken care of. We got Discord open. If anybody wants to join in the Discord, if you're a subscriber, you can join the Discord. You can jump up in here. You can chat with us. Easy peasy. We also, second year, AFCEastieBoys running in the DCC Dolphins Cancer Challenge. That's right. The Dolphins may not be doing great on the field, but they're doing great things in the community, and they've been raising money for cancer research for 16 years now. They're trying to hit $100 million since they started 16 years ago. AFCEastieBoys personal goal for the year, we're trying to hit 2,500. Can we hit 2,500? I said for every $500 that we can raise towards that goal, I will run a mile every day all the way up until the 5K on February 28th with the DCC. That's right. And I'll put it on the airwaves too. I'll record it once we get up there. And I'm not going to stop at 2,500. If we go above 2,500, let's say we raise 4,000. Guess what? Looks like I'm going to be running 8 miles a day. I have to get up early in the morning, run 4 in the morning, 4 after I get home from work before I hop on to talk to you guys. But it'll be fun. It'll be worth it. Because cancer, it ain't no joke. Cancer's no joke, man. So go ahead, feel free. Click that link. I'll share the link also in the chat as well and in the Discord. Go in, put your donation in. It's 100% tax deductible. Anything helps. We gotta do what we can in the community to try and fight cancer, because it seems like that's the only one thing that us humans have not been able to conquer yet, right? Cancer. We also got that giveaway going on. Don't forget about the giveaway. Mike Gesicki signed photo, a 9x16 photo of his rookie year. He has the number 8. He's wearing the number 86, and he's hurdling over somebody. I don't remember exactly who he's hurdling over, but he's having fun doing it. This is a rookie signed photo by Mike Gesicki. You can win that easily by liking, commenting, sharing. Make sure you tag the AFCEastieBoys when you share any of our content on any of your social medias. We're keeping track. We're watching. We're seeing those that show us love. When we hit 500, the one of you that shows us the most love, that's who we're going to give it to. And if you in the South Florida area, you never know. The AFCEastieBoys might just show up in person to give it to you. But enough with the announcements. By the way, Charlie's Choice Collectibles, go check them out on Macari. He's got a deal going on right now. He's accepting all offers. You can find all kinds of good NFL paraphernalia. Go get you some flags. He's got challenge flags and he's got penalty flags. You can get one of each for $15. I say it's a must win for every football fan. I'll tell you what. If I had a set of the flags, I wouldn't have broke my helmet on Sunday. Because you know why? I would have threw the flag at the TV instead of slamming my helmet on the ground. I almost broke my neck. Did you guys see the video? I put the video out. You guys got to go check it out later. But we're not here about that. We're here about fantasy football, right? It's been a strange week one. Especially for a lot of round one drafters. I think there was only like 3 people that went in round one, like average ADP round one, especially for a 12-man league, that actually performed up to their standards. You got what? Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson. He put up less than 20 points. I wouldn't say that lives up to round one standard. Let me pull it up. You can see we got it here. You could see that we got it here. Let's go to week one. A lot of round one talent didn't put up round one production. But here we go. But there was a couple that put up round 1 production. I think the round 2 through 4, those were your valuable picks in the draft. Those are the ones that came out in week 1 and performed well. Here you can see these are your top performers of week 1. You have Josh Allen at number 1, rightfully so. He had hell of a performance against the Baltimore Ravens in that comeback win that was just phenomenal. All right, 38 points. That's not sustainable. Yes, he's a talented quarterback. Yes, you can almost guarantee a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown almost every game. But 38 points, that's almost like the ceiling of any great quarterback. Or any great player for that aspect. 38 points. That's exceptional. 29 points, Justin Fields against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that's sustainable either. That was definitely more so the fact of how the game played out. So, like, your top 2 performers this week, Justin Fields and Josh Allen, not going to be there again next week. We had Daniel Jones coming in at 3rd. Miami Dolphins defense making Daniel Jones look like a top 5 quarterback in the league. That's not sustainable. They play the Denver Broncos this week. He's not putting up 29 points. He'll be lucky to put up 12 points. Leave him sitting on your waiver wire. I know he's sitting on a lot of people's waiver wire right now, and you're looking at him like, dang, that was a really good quarterback I could have used to win my week. Now, some of you don't have this problem of having to play quarterback week to week. Some of you drafted your quarterback in round 2 or round 3. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. Like, these quarterbacks, you really don't... If you got these quarterbacks, this part isn't for you. Talking about quarterbacks as far as Justin Fields and Josh Allen and Daniel Jones go. Because in week 1, they did great. The matchups for them were great, and they were designed to be a shootout for Josh Allen, come out in the end and win like that. I don't see that happening again because these 2 quarterbacks at the top, Josh Allen, Justin Fields, they're playing each other this week. That game is going to be different. It's going to play out different. It's not going to be... You're not going to see the same style game that you saw in week 1 that these 2 teams were playing. It's going to be more defensive from the Jets side. And they take a big hit. Now, is Josh Allen still starting caliber quarterback? Of course he is. He's still going to put up 20 points minimum. Like, that's his floor against the Jets. But I'm telling you to be wary of Justin Fields. If he's sitting on your waiver and you're looking at starting... All right, so let's do it right here. Let's do it like this. All right, so Justin Fields. If I had the choice between Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, I would start Justin Fields. If I had the choice between Justin Fields and Michael Penix Jr., this week, I don't know. I might go with Michael Penix Jr. because this week they do play Minnesota. And if you noticed yesterday, Caleb Williams kind of had a good game against Minnesota. But based on... Yeah, I would go Michael Penix there. I would go Baker Mayfield, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels for sure, Kyler Murray playing against Carolina. See, I would play Kyler Murray here before I would play Justin Fields against Buffalo Bills. Geno Smith, they're playing the Chargers. I wouldn't play him. I would play Justin Fields over him. If you had Brock Purdy, I probably would swing in Justin Fields over Brock Purdy. Drake May for sure. Not Matthew Stafford, not Jordan Love. I'm sure nobody's rolling with Joe Flacco, right? Spencer Rattler, Russell Wilson, nobody's rolling with them. But don't expect 30 points out of him. Not against Buffalo. 20 max. I would say 20 is his ceiling there. Daniel Jones going against the Broncos this week. I'm down on that. I'm super down on that. I say his ceiling is 15 points. The Broncos defense is not the Dolphins defense. Just remember that. Jonathan Taylor, play him all day. He's going to be clutch for the Indianapolis Colts. Tyler Warren, if you got him, I mean, you're probably starting him anyways. I can't say anything against Tyler Warren. He is probably going to get good usage over there because Denver Broncos defense plays a lot harder. So Daniel Jones is going to be more reliant on a security blanket, such as a guy like Jonathan Taylor or Tyler Warren. Those are the only two people I would trust from the Indianapolis Colts this week. Definitely don't buy into the hype of Daniel Jones playing against the Miami Dolphins and putting up 29 points. It's not sustainable, especially against the Denver Broncos. And then you'll see, if we go back to all offensive players, you'll see that number 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all Baltimore Ravens. Rightfully so, right? Like, they performed well. Derrick Henry did his job. Lamar Jackson did his job. But again, you got to look at the matchup that they were playing. They were playing against the Buffalo Bills, who are going to go toe-to-toe with them, who are going to force them to throw the ball, going to force them to perform well in all aspects of the game. And don't get me wrong, Ravens came out and they were dominating. They were handling the Buffalo Bills. But all it takes is one mistake, right? Derrick Henry getting a fumble. It was all over from there. Guarantee you Derrick Henry only gets one more fumble this season. But it's going to be a crucial one. But what I'm saying is, like, you have all three of them in the top 6. Like 4, 5, and 6 for these 3 players. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers. I don't know why I didn't go over to Zay Flowers. And Zay Flowers. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that's a lock. That's a safe bet. But I do want you guys to be weary of this guy right here. Yes, he put up some good points in week 1. 28 points. Great points in week 1. But Cleveland Browns. This is a divisional matchup too, by the way. Always play harder when it's divisional matchups. Cleveland Browns play a good ground and pound game. They control the clock. They have a good defense. Really good defense. They can rush the passer. Yes, Lamar Jackson is one of those quarterbacks, and like that's why I say you're safe. If you're playing Lamar Jackson, you're safe. If you're playing Derrick Henry, you're safe. But if you're playing Zay Flowers, ooh, I would want to look at who else you have available, because Zay Flowers might be a flex option this week against the Cleveland Browns. If you have Mark Andrews, lock, for sure. Because, again, this is going to be a game where the quarterback's going to need to find somebody to dunk this ball off to. Is Zay Flowers still going to get you production? Yes. Like I said, he will get you flex value production. He's not going to put up 20 plus points, though. Not against the Cleveland Browns. Not in week 2. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. And hopefully You're not relying on him as your wide receiver 1 this week. And then we have Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. The two of them are going to be consistent. They're going to have the same value. Week to week, it's going to range between 20 and 30 points, which is kind of what you want from your quarterback. Especially this week for Justin Herbert, I'm really high on him. He's going to be playing the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Las Vegas Raiders, like, yeah, they have a good defense, but they're definitely vulnerable in the secondary. And don't like the way they played the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, he was just impressive. Like 7 carries for 32 yards. He threw 318 yards and 3 touchdowns, 25 for 34, a 73.5 completion percentage. Like, he played a really great game against the Chiefs. But that's what the Chargers do. They play great games against their division, and the Raiders are in their division. So I expect another great game for Justin Herbert. Definitely Keenan Allen. Let's see where he's at. Let's look at Keenan Allen. He is on like 30% of waiver wires right now. And I was high on this guy going into the season. I didn't talk much about him because he was my one sleeper that I wanted to keep to myself. I gave you guys a lot of sleepers going into the season this year. I gave you guys a lot of sleepers, and all of my sleepers got sniped. I'm so glad that everybody's been listening to me and paying attention, because for sure all the sleepers that I've been talking about, they all got sniped from me in all of my drafts. But this one I kind of kept to myself until the night of. And if you were there, I did talk about him the night of my draft, but I was able to get him. Keenan Allen. He was with Justin Herbert before. He was with the Chargers before. He took a year off. He went to Chicago Bears. It didn't work out too well. I knew him coming back into this offense, because you got to look at what the Chargers did last year. They weren't super run. I mean, they weren't super pass heavy. It was more run centric. You know, new coach coming in, new system being implemented, new culture being implemented, new wide receiver in the room, old wide receiver out of the room. Come to find out, damn, we actually needed that wide receiver. Let's get him back over here. And it showed on Sunday. And that wasn't a fluke. I'm letting you know now, if he's on your waiver wire, you need to pick him up. And he's a serious consideration every week for your flex. And depending on how it goes, I'll let you know once we get closer to week 6. He could be the wide receiver 1 in LA over there. If you want me to be 100% honest with you, he was a wide receiver 1 before he left. He could easily come back over here and be the wide receiver 1. You saw how comfortable Justin Herbert was throwing the ball to him against the Kansas City Chiefs. He totally forgot he had Ladd McConkey. Totally forgot. They also got Tyler Conklin over there too, which is a underrated tight end that a lot of people sleep on, because he had a year with the Jets. I had a couple years with the Jets where they couldn't really utilize him. Justin Herbert's going to have a good year this year. You know, I went into the season saying that the Chargers actually win this division this year. Now, me saying that from his fantasy standpoint is basically, I'm trying to tell you that, like, you should buy in on the Chargers from a fantasy perspective. And if you got Chargers sitting in your waivers, you probably should pick them up. Tyler Conklin, Keenan Allen. I'm sure Omari Hampton already got picked up. Those are probably the only two that might be in your waivers. But definitely go pick them up. And highly consider them every week for flex options or start options. And if we continue to go down the list, we got Aaron Rodgers, who had an MVP performance against the Jets. And the Jets, their defense aren't scrubs. Like, if you want me to be completely honest with you, their defense is not a bunch of scrubs. Sorry, I just turned on my chat, guys. Would you trade Flowers for any of these guys? Harvey, K9, Swift, or Bill Crosby? Like, I wouldn't trade Flowers. All right, so I wouldn't trade Flowers for any of those guys. I wouldn't trade Flowers. I'm just saying this week with this matchup with the Cleveland Browns, I don't trust him as a wide receiver one, and I was trying to give you better options to use over Zay Flowers just because I don't think he's going to put up over 15 points. So if you have a guy that might possibly do more than 15 points, that's why I was saying, like, he's your flex option this week, Zay Flowers is. That's actually news to me. Philly Mike, OG, how did the Chiefs get Jerry Jeudy? I'm going to have to look into that. I have not checked that out yet. Thoughts on Bateman? I actually have Bateman in my league. He's going to be one of my guys like that I use for flex options because he does have upside for sure. He had 9 touchdowns last year. So he definitely has upside. He's just one of those guys where it's like you got to really pay attention to the matchup. You got to really pay attention to the matchup and kind of check out the game plan if you can. Like figure out what direction they're gonna go in. Like honestly, I think Bateman this week will do better than Zay Flowers, if you want my honest opinion. And yes, the Chargers do look deep, bro. Jonnu or Juwan Johnson? Oh, that's a tough one right there. That is a tough one right there. Who do we have? So we have the Steelers playing. We're just talking about. All right, so that's a good one. That's a good question right there because we were just talking about Aaron Rodgers. So we got the Steelers playing Seattle this week. And Seattle, they should have a good defense. It's kind of like the Miami Dolphins. Like you look at them on paper and like you're like they should have a good defense. But they didn't come out and perform like they had a great defense. And I do feel like this Aaron Rodgers that we have right now is having an MVP caliber performance. After week 1, it's early. We shouldn't overreact. But I've been paying attention to Aaron Rodgers. I do skits on him. Like me and my boy Waffles, we're doing skits on him talking about the Pat McAfee show and stuff. So like I have been paying attention to him. It seems like he's super bought into this because he knows it's the end of the road for him. So it's like you need to ball out now because you're not going to have any more chances. So I do think that we have a version of Aaron Rodgers that is sustainable, and he's on the waiver wire as 50% of leagues. I picked him up because against Seattle, he's going to light him up. So I would go Jonnu there, especially seeing that Aaron Rodgers did kind of favor him over Pat Freiermuth in week 1. I don't think that's a fluke. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers brought Jonnu over because they planned on using him over Pat Freiermuth because like Pat Freiermuth has been good, but he's one of those guys, he's been with them for a while and he's just been okay. You know, he's never really like went over the top. He had a good rookie year. And then it's kind of one of those situations where people get tape on you. They figure out how to shut you down. And it's like you just become average at that point. So to answer that question, I mean, like, because the Saints are so hard to call, right? Because you know that they're not really fighting for wins. I'm pretty sure deep down, like the office knows that they're pretty much in tank mode and they're working on the next couple of years. But like you still got to consider the players themselves as valuable assets. Like a guy like Alvin Kamara, like he's probably gonna get a lot of usage because if the Saints are in rebuild mode, if they are in tank mode, they're probably going to look to do something like what the Giants did with Saquon Barkley, what the Titans did with Derrick Henry, and ship him off somewhere mid-season before trade deadline this year. I'm hot take. Go ahead and clip it. Put it out there on the airwaves. You're going to see them ship him off somewhere to where he can actually make something of himself. My value with the Saints, like anyone other than Alvin Kamara, honestly, like I would just stay away from, because I know that they're going to be using Alvin Kamara. But anyone other than that, like, it's just going to be up in the air.
Don't agree with it? That's too bad.
Like and subscribe anyways.
Like and subscribe anyways.
So I would definitely go Jonnu there. To answer your question, the Schmitty. Hey, we're going to be streaming the game tomorrow, by the way. We're going to be streaming the game tomorrow, by the way. Make sure y'all tune in. It's going to be fun. I don't know if y'all were here Sunday or not for that pathetic Dolphins game, but my reactions, go back and check them out. My reactions were epic. In the moment, they sucked. It was the worst pain in my life. But going back and looking at them, I love it. All right. And then rounding out the top 10 performers from week 1, we had Keon Coleman, who had a modest performance, 25. That's better than good, but that's not great. Like when you're looking at players and you're looking at starters, like you're aiming for 20 points, right? You're aiming for 20 points. If you can get me more than 20 points, then you're going above and beyond, and you're definitely going to help me win my week. But you're aiming for 20 points. I do believe that Keon Coleman this year has got his feet under him. I know he had a rough rookie year, and I don't think that this was a fluke. This game at Baltimore, I don't think it was a fluke. You can see here he had 8 receptions. It doesn't tell me how many targets. 8 receptions on 11 targets, 112 yards and a touchdown. One of those receptions came off of a batted pass that was in the end zone. And yeah, you could say that was luck. That touchdown that he got was luck. So take, what would that be, 9 points off the board, because it was a reception, so that's 1 point. Touchdown is six points, so there's 7, and then I think it was for like 18 yards. So take about 9 points off of that. That would put him at 16.2 points. But the awareness for him to be able to do that. Purdy got cleared. You're asking. I don't know, man. I'll find out that information for you tomorrow, and I'll let you know, Cap. I'll Discord you. But I do think Keon Coleman's going to do good this year, or good this week again in the Jets. He's going to be a crucial piece in the Buffalo Bills win over the Jets. So definitely start him. Quentin Johnston. Now this one's question marks for me. He put up 24.4 points. Like there's a lot of people over there in the Chargers for Justin Herbert to disperse this ball to. I think you're safe playing any one of them. You're safe playing any one of them. I don't think Ladd McConkey is the number 1 wide receiver, though. I think you consider them all wide receiver 2s or flex options, because it could be a situation where it's usage from week to week. But it doesn't look like it, because you had Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston both put up 20 points. Bijan Robinson, obviously that's a lock. We don't even need to talk about it and waste our time there. He's definitely the security blanket and basically the Derrick Henry of the Atlanta Falcons right now. Jalen Hurts, I don't think he has as much points this week as he did last week. Kansas City is going to be quite a different team this week, especially coming off of a loss in week 1. against a divisional opponent. They're going to be playing with a vengeance. I do have the Eagles winning this game, but I just don't think it's going to be Saquon, or I don't think it's going to be Jalen Hurts rushing in 2 touchdowns. I think Saquon will get the touchdowns this time, and it won't be Hurts. So take off 12 points, and there you go. But there will be more passing. So, like, the value is still going to be right around 18 to 22 points. You're definitely starting him over any other quarterback you have, unless their name is Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. I would say Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. There you go. Like, if you don't have any of those other quarterbacks, you're starting Jalen Hurts. And then Caleb Williams, his performance isn't sustainable. Again, you got to remember, divisional matchups are always different than outside the division. Herbert running now too, yes. Bro, that slide from that Friday night game was so epic. That slide was so epic. When he, like, slid and basically finished out the game against the Chiefs. Oh, man. I need somebody to send me a clip of that so I can use it during stream, man. He was like, "You're done, Mahomes." As he slides. Oh, man. I know somebody's got a clip of it. He literally, like, he literally did it like somebody was recording him. So he put up 21 for 35, 210 yards and a touchdown against Minnesota. I didn't watch that game, so I can't really judge on his performance. But he plays Detroit in week 2. I would just stay away. If you have other quarterbacks, I would definitely consider starting a different quarterback than Caleb Williams this week. Michael Penix Jr., I mean, if he's your starting quarterback, I say you ride with it, even though they're going to be playing Minnesota this week. If you go back and you look at how Chicago and Caleb Williams played Minnesota, he did decent. Well, how many? He actually scored more points than Michael Penix, and Michael Penix scored 24. So if you go back and you look at that, like, they're similar quarterbacks. I say you start Michael Penix Jr. Now, again, you wouldn't start him over a guy like Jalen Hurts or Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes or Herbert, any of these other guys up here. I would start him over Caleb Williams for sure. I would start him over Baker Mayfield this week. Baker Mayfield this week doesn't have, he's playing Atlanta. It's not going to be a prime matchup for Baker Mayfield this week. Dallas Cowboys play. Who does Dallas play? Dallas plays an easy game this week, I believe. Yeah, they play the Giants this week. And then Detroit, we just saw it. Detroit plays Atlanta, right? Was it Atlanta? No. Chicago. And then Jacoby Myers. The Raiders are playing. The Chargers. I definitely wouldn't play Jacoby Myers. That's going to be a Genty game right there. It's tough between Montgomery and Williams, but based on what I saw against the Eagles and the team that the Giants are, and based on competition, like strength of opponent, like Chicago definitely has a tougher defense than the Giants do. And you got to also take in consideration that over there in Detroit, you also have Jahmyr Gibbs, who is really the running back one, and David Montgomery is kind of just a fill guy. To whereas Javonte Williams is your clear number one over there in Dallas. I think Javonte Williams is going to be your safer bet. Does he put up another 20 points? I think so. Against the Giants? Yeah, I think so. Is it sustainable all season long? No. He's definitely your flex running back. But out of those three, I personally, in my flex, I would go Javonte Williams. And honestly, depending on my running back situation, he could be my running back too, and I could probably plug in a wide receiver in flex. Emeka Egbuka, I'm not high on this week. They're going to be playing Houston. They have a little bit better of a defense than Atlanta does, especially secondary wise. I think this, although it was impressive, I saw on the Pat McAfee show that Emeka Egbuka actually called the play for his game-winning touchdown, so that's kind of impressive coming from a rookie. But I just, how I feel about Tampa this year, I'm super high on Baker Mayfield. I think if you can get Baker Mayfield, I definitely think that you should. But the way that they're going to run their offense this year is kind of going to be hard if you don't have Baker Mayfield. Hold on. No, I'm saying this wrong. It's going to be hard figuring out the targets that they're going to be using. You're going to have to look at matchups because they're going to go 1 week it's going to be this guy's going to get all the usage. They're going to spread the ball around to a lot of people, and it's going to be one guy each week that is getting the usage. And to chase numbers each week, like, oh, should I play Egbuka? Should I play Evans? Should I play Chris Godwin? Should I play Chris Atten? Like, it puts too much homework on you. So honestly, if you can, I would just go ahead and try and put trades out. If you got anybody in the receiving core for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would just go ahead and put your trade feelers out there and see what you can get. Because I do think it's gonna put a lot of headache on you this year. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna there's gonna be weeks where you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I traded him, Mike Evans. But there's going to be 3 weeks where you're like, oh, he only put up 10 points. And Egbuka put up 30 points. Chris Atten put up 22 points this week. You know what I mean? That's what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to do. So if you don't have Bucky Irving or Baker Mayfield, I would just say stay away from Tampa. Try and trade off of them early while they have high value. They still have high value now. And they're going to have high value again after next week because somebody else is going to put up numbers over there. It's probably going to be Mike Evans. And I have Mike Evans on my team, so I'm really hoping that this is the case so that I can come off of him next week. He'll have really high value. 2 touchdowns, 130 yards. It's going to be Mike Evans' week. And then the week after that, who knows? Chris Godwin could be back, and it could be his week. So that's my advice for anybody on the Bucs other than Bucky Irving and Baker Mayfield. Garrett Wilson. Seven receptions on 9 targets for 95 yards and a tutty. I do think that's sustainable for him over there, based on the weapons they have, considering they are a run heavy offense, but their passing is definitely going to revolve around Garrett Wilson. He's definitely a safe lock. JJ McCarthy, they're playing Atlanta this week. $22 points. I think he does about the same. So if the quarterback you currently don't have can't put up at least 20 points, JJ McCarthy could be an option. Hollywood Brown, totally an option. With Xavier Worthy now question marks all around him. We know Rashee Rice ain't going to be there for a while. Travis Kelce and Hollywood Brown seem like a lock. Maybe Juju Smith is sitting on your waiver wire right now. He's sitting on 65% of waiver wires around the league. He put up a little bit of production, but I think Kelce and Hollywood Brown get all of it. Bijan and Trayvon Henderson as your running backs. And the and the and the New England Patriots play the Dolphins this week. Yay. Yay. Are you comfortable with that Trayvon Henderson start? Really? Against the Dolphins? What'd Jonathan Taylor do this week? I mean, even though we got our asses handed to us, don't get me wrong. We got our asses handed to us. I'm looking for Jonathan Taylor on this list. I'm not seeing him yet. Oh my gosh, he's not even on the first page. I mean, we did get our asses kicked, but I'm not seeing... Look, Juwan Johnson, the tight end for New Orleans, did better than Jonathan Taylor. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be so confident in that Trayvon Henderson start. Where's he at? Jonathan Taylor. I'm looking for him. I'm looking for him. I'm looking for him. Jonathan Taylor. Oh, man. Way down here. 12 points. 12 points. 18 carries for 71 yards. 3 receptions for 27 yards. No tutties. The reason I say that, don't get me wrong, Trayvon Henderson is that guy. I do believe that he's that guy. The only reason I'm saying this is I'm looking at it from a Drake May perspective. Drake May is not a great quarterback, right? But every quarterback wants to be great when they can. Drake May is probably looking at that week 1 matchup. He's probably looking at tape from that week 1 matchup, watching Daniel Jones right now, and thinking like, I want to be that guy. I'm going to use the Dolphins to be that guy. So, Boutte, right? Boutte, that's the new wide receiver over there in New England. Boutte, I think he's up here. I say you grab him. You play him. Hunter Henry? Whew. Oh my gosh. Hunter Henry's going to work us on Sunday. Just like Tyler Warren did. Here he is. Keyshawn Boutte. Oh, he's questionable. Alright, let's look into this. We'll look deep. We'll look to keep a breakout role. Hold on, that's not what we want. We want news. Was limited at practice participant Wednesday due to a shoulder injury. After taking a hit in the first half, returning in short order, and ultimately catching 6 of 8 targets. So he went out of the game and then came back in. His practice participation Wednesday, even in a limited capacity, puts Bourne on track to play. Wait, why did it say Bourne? I think that's a typo on their end. Puts Bourne on track to play week 2 at Miami. He's one of the most popular waiver ads for fantasy this week after leading New England in route share, 82% targets, air yards 137, and receiving yards this past Sunday. He's your guy. He's your ultimate sleeper if he's in your waiver wires this week. I hate to put this out there. Like, I really do. But Trayvon Henderson this week, he's not a lock on start. He's not a lock. I mean, if you don't have better options that can put up at least 15 points, I think that's Henderson's ceiling, 15 points. Again, I don't think he scores a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor didn't score a touchdown. If that's one thing that we're going to be able to do good this year, that's contain the run to an extent. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be contained to an extent. They're going to want to pass on us. Like, that's what every team is going to want to do. They're going to want to pass on us. I mean, how many carries did Jonathan Taylor have? How many carries did Jonathan Taylor have? Where's he at? Let's go back to it. 18 carries. That's not normal for Jonathan Taylor. He's normally up in the 20s. Let's see if we can go back to past years for him. It's not letting me look at past years. But if you go back to the past, like, Jonathan Taylor's usually a 20-plus carry guy. They didn't do that. They attacked us through the air because that's where we're weak at. So play Henderson with caution. Should I start Juwan Johnson or Njoku? And the Cleveland Browns play the Baltimore Ravens this week. The Saints play. I don't have the Saints winning, but I do. Juwan Johnson's all the way at the bottom here. San Francisco. Who doesn't have a great defense, but they did hold a struggling Seattle Seahawk defense or offense to not much. They didn't put up much production. Sam Darnold didn't come out looking great. We got Spencer Rattler going to be throwing the ball to Chris Olave, and I'm going to go back to what I was saying with the Saints right now. I feel like Alvin Kamara is going to be getting majority of usage because they need to raise his value so that they can push him off for assets. Now, Juwan Jennings, as far as tight ends go, let's break it down. Let's go into tight ends. Let's rank him. How about that? Because technically, if you look at it here, he was the number 1 ranked tight end in week 1, right? But who were they playing? They were playing Arizona. I mean, come on. Like, yes, they improved their defense in the offseason, but come on, it's Arizona. You definitely are not playing him over Brock Bowers. You're not playing him over Tyler Warren. You're not playing him over Sam Laporta. You're not playing him over Kyle Pitts. But see, this is right here. Harold Fannin Jr. This is where it makes it tricky, right? Because now you have 2 tight ends over in Cleveland fighting for ball time. And Fannin Jr., he's a rookie over there. Already putting up 13 points because he's playing with a rookie quarterback. So I think naturally, like, Harold Fannin Jr. is probably going to have more chemistry. Actually, no, they're playing with Flacco. Not a rookie quarterback. Not yet. Not till week 5. But anyways, let's look at Harold Fannin Jr. 4 receptions, 5 targets. Alright, where's Njoku at? I didn't get to watch this game, so it's really hard to judge this. So I'm going to try and do it the best I can. So far, based on what I'm seeing right now, I probably would go Juwan Johnson over Njoku. Just because the fact that they're splitting targets between tight ends, to whereas Juwan Johnson is solely the number 1 tight end over there. Look, he had 8 receptions, 11 targets. I do still think that, like, Alvin Kamara, but you can't run the game 100% of the time. Chris Olave, Spencer Rattler is not going to be able to throw the ball to Chris Olave a lot. That's why you didn't see a lot of production from him this week. Because Chris Olave is your deep ball guy. 12 points. What do we have? 7 receptions, 54 yards. Not impressive. Longest was 13. That's not where Chris Olave strives. That's not where Chris Olave is good. Like, Chris Olave is good on the long ball, the deep ball. He's your deep guy. So I would go Johnson. Devontae, Tyreek, Etienne, McMillan, pick 3, half PPR. I'm not even going to lie, I'm out on Tyreek right now. Devontae Adams is a good lock. So if I had to pick 3, I'm out on Tyreek. The other 3 are locks. I know it's a must-win. It's a must-perform for the Miami Dolphins. But could I see him getting 7 receptions and 100 yards on Sunday against the Patriots and we still lose? Yeah, I could see that happening. Half PPR, that would be what? 13.5 points. And a touchdown. I'm assuming the touchdowns are still 6 points. So, I mean, that's still 19 points. I could see him doing that. I could see it. But the way that they played on Sunday, like, are you going to trust your fantasy season on that right now? No. I say no. I say don't do it. Like, I'm a Doll fan. I am a Finn fan. Like, I went through so many emotions on Sunday. You have no idea. I'm at the point where you have to prove me, bro. I'm not playing any Dolphins unless your name is Devon Achane. Because he's going to get the usage. Until he gets hurt, he's going to get the usage. Devon Achane's a lock. Everyone else that relies on the quarterback, we can't trust it right now. Just can't trust it right now. And I could end up eating my words. And I would love to eat my words come Sunday. I'll be out there. I'll be down there rooting them on. Even though I don't think it's hard. I'll be down there at the stadium rooting them on. I hope I'm eating my words. I hope he puts up 2 touchdowns, has 150 yards, 12 catches. And I put my foot in my mouth. But at this moment where I stand right now, I would take Tyreek out of that. So defenses this week to look at and to consider. For sure. That's not defense. That's Josh Allen. That's not defense. Bum, bum, bum. Why are you not showing me defenses? Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Whoa, bro. It's not wanting to show me defenses. There we go. All right. Defenses for this week. So we got the Broncos playing Indy. Most likely the Broncos are not available for you to pick up. Most likely somebody's already got them. Most likely somebody's already got the Steelers and the Ravens. The Texans, on the other hand, somebody might not have them, but you don't want to play them. Not against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Vikings against Atlanta, I would say that's still a safe bet. It's on the fringe of being not a safe play because your floor is 1, but your ceiling is 12 or 13 points. They could easily get a defensive touchdown, but they could still easily let Atlanta score 27 points. So play them with caution this week. Philadelphia Eagles defense, I wouldn't play them. Not against Kansas City. You know Kansas City's going to put up points. The only thing that would save the Eagles would be a defensive touchdown. And Patrick Mahomes already threw a pick-6 to the Eagles last year in the Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to do it again. Don't forget, make sure to smash that like and subscribe. If you're new in here, smash that subscribe button. It's going to be a fun year for the AFC EastieBoys. Lions defense going against Chicago. I think that's a safe bet there. If they're on your waiver wire and you need to play a defense, they are definitely a safe bet. Would not go Seattle. Patriots, possibly. But again, play with caution. Because I'm hoping that we do come out and we make up for week 1. But I wouldn't bet any money on it. Bills, I would stay away. Honestly, playing against the Jets, I do think that the Jets are going to be able to put some points up against them. And it's going to bring their point value down. I don't think they're going to be able to sack the quarterback as many times as they would like to. Do they get a turnover? I don't know. I can't see and say for fact, yeah, I think Bills get a turnover in this game. So if the New York Jets put up 26 points, Buffalo Bills defense might only give you 2 points. 3 points max. So I would stay away from that for sure. Cardinals, Carolina, anybody playing Carolina, anybody playing Tennessee Titans, anybody playing the New Orleans Saints for the first 6 weeks, that's a lock. So here you go. You got the Cardinals at Carolina. I say play the Cardinals. If you're looking week to week for your defense, Cardinals, lock them in. Rams, lock them in. 49ers, lock them in. Packers at Washington this week, don't fall for that. Don't fall for the Micah Parsons thing. Don't fall for it. It's not going to be a good lock. Colts against Denver, I could see it. The way that they played against Miami on Sunday, like their defense was good, but our offense was atrocious. I probably would stay away from that. Definitely stay away from the Jets. You would think that the Buccaneers defense here against Houston is a good play, right? Because Houston didn't do great last week. I don't think it's a good play. Stay away from it. Commanders, stay away from it. Chiefs, stay away from it. Giants, stay away. Bears, stay away. Here is your 2 defenses of the week right here. Cowboys and Chargers. Cowboys and Chargers. These 2 here, I believe, are going to be the top 2 defenses of the week. Cowboys and Chargers. So if you can go get them, stay on your waiver wires, and you're playing week to week, go get one of these 2. Which one does better? I think the Chargers do better. But either one of these will do good. They're definitely, I see their ceiling being around 12 to 18 points. I could see the Chargers easily scoring a defensive touchdown. I could see the Cowboys easily scoring a defensive touchdown. Multiple sacks from the Chargers. So either one of these, Chargers or Cowboys, if you need a defense for this week, go grab them. Bengals, I think the Bengals are going to get lit up. Stay away. Dolphins, I would stay away. Jaguars at Cincy, though, I would stay away from that. I do think Jaguars are going to win that game, but I think it's going to be more. It's going to be more of a high scoring game, and they just win a high scoring game. Browns at Baltimore, come on, we don't even need to talk about that. Falcons at Minnesota, Raiders at Chargers, it's not going to matter. Saints, Titans, Panthers, I wouldn't take any of those either. Bang, 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 bang. Alright, so most of these kickers here at the top are probably already taken in a league. Let's see here. Spencer Schrader. I do see Indianapolis being good enough to get down the field. I just don't see them being good enough to seal the deal with touchdowns. Instead, they're going to be kicking field goals. So Spencer Schrader is probably a player that is in a lot of waiver wires. That would be a good lock for week 2 if you're needing a kicker. Chad Ryland, another one, playing Carolina. Arizona's going to win that game, but again, I don't think it's going to be with a lot of touchdowns. Yes, Arizona might score a touchdown or 2 at max, but they're going to win that game with mostly field goals. So make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe.
Don't agree with it? That's too bad.
Like and subscribe anyways.
Like and subscribe anyways.
And I'm just trying to go down to the bottom here and look at people that are possibly on your waiver wire, because if you're playing your league correct. correctly and you did your draft correctly, you most likely didn't worry about grabbing a kicker or defense until the last 2 rounds because you already planned on playing week to week. You saved all those other picks for great players to sit on your bench and you can use as trade capital. Anybody got trade questions? Hit me with them. I got some trades that I'm looking at. I'm thinking about. I want to get Deebo Samuel on my league right now. I want to get Deebo Samuel. And I'm thinking, like, who should I trade for Deebo Samuel? I have a lot of options. My team did me dirty last week. Dirty. They did me super dirty. I had CJ Stroud in as my quarterback. I was expecting a much better game from that Houston Rams game. I was expecting a much better game. Houston came out and did garbage. So we went out and we picked up Aaron Rodgers. And we went out and we picked up the Rams defense. Because I did also have the Seahawks defense as well. And for all of you that went and got Christian McCaffrey, enjoy it while it lasts. You're going to have a really good week this week for sure. I suggest that everybody goes on Hard Rock Bet and takes all of the overs for Christian McCaffrey because all of the question marks around San Francisco right now just scream Christian McCaffrey is going to get all the usage this week in San Francisco. So I was like, I'm wanting to put a trade together and get Deebo Samuel because last week I would have played Deebo Samuel over Devontae Adams. He only put up 9 points. I definitely would have had Deebo Samuel in there. That would have helped me win. Jameson Williams putting up a dud. Alright, so let's go back to all offensive players and finish going through the top few. Showing us week 2, we want week 1. James Cook is questionable. Let's look. Hamstring was listed as limited practice in Wednesday. Snaps on offense en route to carrying 13 times, 44 yards, a touchdown. Catching all 5 of his targets for 58 yards. It's unclear if it's his hamstring issue stems from Buffalo's season opener or the result of something that occurred Wednesday. Either way, Cook, who is backed up by Ray Davis and Ty Johnson, has 2 more chances to work fully ahead of Sunday's contest against the Jets. So if you guys have James Cook in your starting lineup, keep an eye on that. Going into that game on Sunday, keep an eye on that. I would go ahead into the waiver wires. If you have James Cook, I would go ahead in the waiver wires and see if you can grab Ray Davis or Ty Johnson. Either one of them would be an easy just plug and play. Just grab them, switch them out right before game time. You get that notification. You're keeping an eye on it, and you just switch them out right before game time. And it, yes, they're not going to put up James Cook production numbers like what do you got here, 21 points, but like if it still gets you 15 16 points, like it's not a loss, it's not a complete loss. But just keep an eye on that, James Cook owners. And then we wanted to look at Brock Purdy too, right? His designation. Oh Brock Purdy unlikely to play. Tank Bigsby trade fallout. Vikings backfield split. So yeah, Brock Purdy's not going to be playing, so they're going to have Mac Jones out there. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey's value this week is through the roof. Go to your Hard Rock bets and just hit the over on everything for him. Rushing yards, reception yards, receptions, touchdown, anytime touchdown, 2 of them. Build that parlay all around Christian McCaffrey if you can. Guarantee you hit. Guarantee you hit.
Don't agree with it? That's too bad.
Like and subscribe anyways.
Like and subscribe anyways.
Yes, yes. Smash that like button. Keep us in the algorithm. I don't know if anybody's noticed or not that QR code up in the top right corner. That's so you guys can donate to the DCC. Dolphins Cancer Challenge. This is our second year as the AFCEastieBoys, and as a family, me and my daughter went down there last year. Me, my daughter, and my wife are going down there this year. We're going to run around that 5K. We're trying to raise money for cancer research. So 16 years for Miami Dolphins running the DCC. It's going to be the AFCEastieBoys' second year running. We're trying to raise $2,500. That's our personal goal. For every $500 that we raise, I personally will run/jog a mile for every $500 raised every day, all the way up until the day of the DCC, which is February 28th. And if we go beyond 2,500, if we smash that goal and go beyond 2,500, yeah, I'll keep running miles for every $500 raised. We hit 4K, that'd be 8 miles a day. And I'll put it up on stream. I'll put it on the channel. That way you guys see it happening. We bout that life. We bout that life. Devon A-Chain definitely a lock still, no matter how bad the Dolphins are doing. He's going to get his utilization. Calvin Austin, I do think if he's on your waiver wire, I think you should pick him up for sure. Dylan Sampson, again, I don't think he's on any, he's not on a lot of waiver wires. He's been picked up by, he's in most rosters. But if he's on your waiver wire, I do suggest grabbing him. He has stolen the running back job over there in Cleveland. And you know, with their quarterback question marks, the running back is a good option. He's basically what I'm saying is he's a good flex option every week. For receivers, okay. So I like Coleman this week. I like Boutte this week, for sure. So there's 2 locked in. McLaurin, I do think he has a better week than he had last week. So there's 3 locked in. And then so let's look at the rest. We got Calvin Ridley, right? Let's go look at wide receivers. Calvin Ridley. That's who you're talking about, right? Calvin Ridley? Because I know there's another Ridley in the leagues too. Tillman is one. They're playing Baltimore this week. I wouldn't trust that matchup. I wouldn't trust any receivers from Cleveland this week. I'm sorry. Just the matchup with Baltimore, it doesn't match up good. It's going to be and I said this for the Baltimore too. I said this for Baltimore too. The receivers for Baltimore, I don't like it. I don't like the matchup. It's going to be ground and pound. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be low scoring, and it's going to be a lot of running. So I wouldn't trust any receivers as my wide receiver ones from Baltimore or Cleveland, unless your name is Mark Andrews this week. I do believe Mark Andrews will get some utilization this week. So Tillman's out. Golden. He's on the Packers. Bro, it's a gamble. You got to look at the Packers offense kind of like how you're going to look at the Bucks offense this year, to where you're going to have somebody in that receiving room put up 25 points every week. But who out of those 4 receivers is that going to be? You got Jaden Reed, you got Mike Golden, you got Romeo Dobbs, and you got one more as well. Who's the other guy? You got Tucker Kraft. It's just it's taking a gamble. So let's look at the next one, Mims in Denver. So you got Mims and Cortland Sutton. So it's like Cortland Sutton got the majority of the work last week. And the defense that they're playing this week, though, I think is much easier for Denver than what they played last week. So they're playing Indy. They played Tennessee last week. Cortland Sutton put up the majority of the points. He got 9 receptions, or 9 targets, 6 receptions. And Mims Jr. got, let's see where he's at. Let's find him. Let's find him. It doesn't look like he got a lot of looks. Boom, 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 boom. Where's he at? Where's he at? See, here's Matthew Golden. He got 2 targets. 2 targets, 2 receptions for 16 yards. So, I mean, he could be the receiver this week. Thinking about it, he could be the receiver this week. Mims Jr., here we go. 3 receptions, 4 targets, 12 yards. And what is that? A fumble? A fumble? We're going to go ahead and knock him out. We're going to go ahead and knock him out of the we're going to eliminate him, Mims Jr. So I think we didn't look at Ridley yet. Hold on. Calvin Ridley. I got to look at their matchups. I got to see who they're playing. Tennessee playing Denver. I don't trust it. So I would go McLaurin, Coleman, Golden, Boutte. Yeah, it's going to be tough with any of those Green Bay players. Like it's going to be tough all year long having them, because you're not going to know which week. Just like I said a little while ago about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's like you're not going to know who to play each week unless you're like actively paying attention to their practices, listening to their press conferences, like figuring out where they're leaning that week. So my best advice for you is, if you have a Green Bay receiver or a Tampa Bay Buccaneers receiver, you wait till week 2 finishes, because like it's already too late to get a different player and let him play for you this week anyways, depending on most leagues, because you have to wait for the trade to get accepted, blah 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 blah. I suggest as soon as week 2 finishes, when the value hits, go ahead and play Golden this week, and so that the person you're going to go and trade him to sees that you're actually playing him. Because if he's sitting on your bench and you're trying to trade him away, like, it kind of, like, that's something I look at. It's like, oh, you're trying to trade me somebody sitting on your bench. Like, you're not playing this guy. What makes you think I'm going to play this guy? You know what I'm saying? So if they see you actually play him on your team, and then he does good, the trade value jumps through the roof. And then you could probably trade him for somebody who's a little higher value than he's actually going to be consistently. You're looking for consistency in fantasy team. Like, you're not looking for, 38 points from Josh Allen. That's great. That's the best. Yeah, but he's not going to do that every week. Like, if a guy puts up 25 points once every 4 games, but all those other 3 games he's only putting up 10, and you could be having somebody in there that's putting up 20, like, You gotta think about that. Got a bunch of y'all in here watching. Don't forget, smash that like button on the way in. If you're new here, hit that subscribe. We give your weekly picks. I'm going to be working on my... We already went through and did our week 1 picks. We got them all in. You can go back and check out our show, End Zone to End Zone, from Monday, if you want to know what our week 1 picks are. But I will be working on the video and getting out a solo video before Saturday. Also, so that you guys will have it condensed for you and kind of more easier to understand and read. Because if you go back and watch the show, you kind of got to listen to us, because we walk through all the games for this week. And every Monday, make sure you tune in to End Zone with the AFCEastieBoys, because we cover all of the happenings from the weekend. We get you ready for the Monday Night Football game. And we cover you for your weekly picks for the next week. And every once in a while, we throw in a few fantasy football tidbits. Any more questions? Any more... Let's see if I can see any sleepers for this week. I do think George Pickens gets a little bit more usage this week than he did last week. So if you drafted him and you're kind of like on that fringe of, oh man, you made a mistake, I think just hold on another week. You'll see it. You'll see an improvement this week. Like, he put up 6 points against the Eagles. You'll see him put up a little bit more against the Giants for sure. And you might see him put up a big game against the Giants, to be honest with you. T. Higgins. Like, we're playing the Browns. Like, he's not a start this week. Sorry. He's not a start this week. Jameson Williams with Green Bay. You just saw me. I switched him out. I put Keenan Allen in his spot. He's not a start this week. Not playing against Green Bay. I got Green Bay winning that game, to be honest. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, not a start. Ray-Ray McCloud, not a start. I mean, I can go through this list. Also, if you're subscribed, let me know. I can get you a link to our Discord. If you have any questions, you can ask us in the Discord. We'll fill you in, try and keep you posted. We put parlays in there. We put DraftKings weekly lineups in there. We trying to keep it rolling and keep you guys informed. Keep everybody winning their fantasy leagues, because that's what we want. That's what we want around here. We want everybody to win that money. Everybody to win that money. Here's a sleeper for you that's also probably on a lot of waiver wires. Kevontae Turpin from the Dallas Cowboys, especially this week. He's a really good flex option. But they use him for returns as well. They use him as a weapon guy. He's the Dallas Cowboys weapon guy right now, from what I've noticed. They use him on returns, kick returns, punt returns. They had him run wildcats. They had him catching passes. So there's a lot of value there, and there's a lot of upside for Kevontae Turpin. And I'm pretty sure he's on like 80% of waiver wires around the league. So check that guy out. Debo, Harvey, or Hollywood, half PPR, pick one. Half PPR. You're talking about RJ Harvey from the Broncos. Debo, half PPR. I do think Hollywood Brown is going to have another decent game, and I do think Debo's going to have another decent game, but I honestly believe that Debo's going to have like less usage this week than he did last week. You're going to see more Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz this week. So now it's between Harvey and Hollywood. And the Chiefs are playing the Eagles, which is a really good matchup. It's going to be a better matchup than than the Super Bowl, because I do believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to come out here himself and try and like perform better. Half PPR. RJ Harvey. You got the Broncos playing the Indianapolis Colts, who did a pretty decent job of containing the run in Miami, but A-Chain was still able to put up 16.5 points with horrible play calling and horrible play all around. So, I mean, honestly, RJ Harvey there probably sounds like probably a good pick. Let's look at what RJ Harvey did last week. So he went 6 for 70, and he's split in the backfield over there. Am I correct? He's split in the backfield over there. He had -1 receiving yard. Are they split in the backfield in Denver? Yeah, J.K. Dobbins. Okay, yes. This was something I wanted to touch on. Thank you for that question, Aldo Gavaria, because you made me. I almost forgot to mention something that I wanted to make sure I mentioned tonight for all of you RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins owners. It's a split backfield in Denver. Having either one of these running backs is great. Okay? We definitely have to look at matchups though, because if you go and you look at it, RJ Harvey got less touches, but he had more production, right? 6 touches, 70 yards, 1 reception, -1 yards. J.K. Dobbins, though, had 18 touches. Now let's go look at J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins had 18 touches and 2 receptions on 13 yards. So this is something that you have to monitor when considering either one of these players. And I think it might be a week-to-week basis depending on the type of defense they're playing. So this week they played, it was Tennessee they were playing, right? Yeah, Tennessee. And now they play Indianapolis, which is going to be a similar style defense. Not great, but good enough. And I think J.K. Dobbins being the better receiving back from what I've seen will probably get more use this week. But I'm not saying to sell A.J. Harvey. I'm saying that Hollywood Brown would probably be my choice. Breaking down, looking at what I'm like, the matchups, the stats, the consideration of the opponents, like what else is on the team. Like you gotta think Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, like that's gonna be a good game. The Eagles and the Eagles and the Chiefs. It's gonna be a good game. Could be a high scoring game. This one here, Denver and Indianapolis, like that could be a low scoring game. Honestly. Like the total points for that game could be 35. So I'm gonna go with the upside here of points, and I'm gonna say go with Hollywood Brown. Tracy Sampson, Pacheco, or Bill Washington running back. Washington running backs are McCroskey Merritt and Austin Eckler. It definitely looks like McCroskey Merritt is winning the battle over there, and Austin Eckler is kind of dealing with some injury issues. He is cleared to play on Sunday, but he is also an older running back, so I would steer clear of that. Tracy Sampson, I'm not sure who that is. Tracy Sampson, Pacheco. Oh, Tracy Jr. Okay, I get what you're saying. Tracy Jr., Sampson, Pacheco, or Bill Washington running back. T. Tracy Jr., the Giants are playing the Dallas Cowboys. They did a pretty decent job of controlling the Philadelphia Eagles, but Saquon Barkley was still able to put up some good numbers against them. 18 for 60, 4 receptions for 24 yards, and Jalen Hurts himself has some good numbers as well. He rushed for 14 carries for 62 yards. Is that right? Holy cow. 14 carries for 62 yards and a touchdown. Samson is a good bet. You got Cleveland's going to be playing Baltimore. And like I said, I don't think the passing game there is going to be we're not going to see a lot of passing in that game. It's definitely going to be a ground and pound. They're going to try and control the clock. They're going to try and run the ball. I think Samson is a good lock. Pacheco, he's questionable. He's always questionable. Not as far as like playing, whether he's going to play or not. I'm just saying like whether to play him or not is always questionable. He could go out any week and have a 24-point game. But then like the weeks you start him is be the weeks he has a 12-point game. They're playing the Eagles this week. They have a really nasty front seven. I honestly, like, I would lean to Pacheco, yeah, because, like, also another reason, same reason I would lean for Hollywood Brown is because there is a lack of receivers over there and a lack of options and security blankets for Patrick Mahomes to be able to do Patrick Mahomes things. So, man, for me, honestly, it would be between Samson or Pacheco. And I think for the same reason I went with Hollywood Brown, I would go with Pacheco. Just for the fact that, like, it's going to be a higher scoring game, more chance for Pacheco to get a touchdown. Samson can do 20 carries for 80 yards, and Pacheco could do 10 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown and score more points than Samson. And then you know that Pacheco is going to have a couple receptions sprinkled in there as well. So let's go with Pacheco on that. Half PPR. Oh, and Justin Fields or Dak this week. Oh, that is a good one because Justin Fields, like, he did well, right, against Pittsburgh, which is a tough defense, which is a much tougher defense than I think Buffalo Bills, if you want my honest opinion. I'm sorry. I got to get a refill on my drink before I answer this question. I'll be right back. Make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe. Oh, yeah. Try to get a fresh refill. Alright, so we were on Dak and Justin Fields, right? Dak and Justin Fields. And that's a good one because, like, Dak did decent. So did Justin Fields. Justin Fields definitely did a lot better than Dak Prescott, though. Who do they play this week? I forget who they play this week. Holy cow. He's way down here. Only 7 points? He looked like he did a lot better than he actually did, huh? That interception killed him. That's crazy. He had 7 points? That doesn't make sense. 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. 3 carries and 13 yards. How does that add up to 7 points? Ugh, that's disgusting. And they play the Giants this week, though. Like, he also had 3 nice passes to CeeDee Lamb that CeeDee Lamb missed that would have really boosted his stats a little bit. And one of them probably would have been a touchdown. I would go with Dak Prescott over the Giants. I would go with Dak Prescott to answer that question. Hurts, Zach Ertz, Kincaid, Kraft, Pitts. Who would you pick up? ROS. I'm definitely high on Zach Ertz. I'm definitely super high on Zach Ertz. I love what the Washington Commanders are doing. Kincaid over there, like, I look at Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills kind of like back in the day when you would draft Tom Brady. Like, draft Tom Brady, but you don't really know who's going to get used. Every receiver on that team might have 7 receptions for 60 yards. So they're just kind of doing average. Tucker Kraft, Green Bay is the same situation. There's so many weapons over there. It's kind of hard. I do like that Michael Penix Jr. did utilize Pitts in week 1, and I do believe they have a good matchup this week. The Atlanta Falcons do. I believe they have a really great matchup this week to be able to utilize a tight end like Kyle Pitts again. So we're going to go between Ertz and Pitts. And is this for a week to week, or are you trying to pick somebody up for the season? Because it really matters. Like, how I answer this question right now really matters. So let me know, and then I'll answer whether I would go Ertz or Kraft. PPR, flex, James Conner, Mike Evans, or Egbuka. Start Mark Andrews or Tucker Kraft. Mark Andrews. James Conner. Arizona is playing. I think Arizona has a good matchup this week for James Conner. Carolina, yeah, bro. They have a prime matchup for James Conner, bro. That's my answer for your PPR flex. I do think Mike Evans is going to have a big game. And he could possibly, if he's on your roster, depending on who your other wide receivers are, he could be your wide receiver too. Mark Andrews over Tucker Kraft this week for sure. Like I said, I do believe that Browns are going to keep that game muddy, but I think that Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and Mark Andrews are going to be your safe bets from that game for sure. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Christian McCaffrey on all your betting platforms. Hit the overs on everything for Christian McCaffrey. Just parlay the fuck out of Christian McCaffrey this week, because he's healthy. He came out last week and he showed that he could still do what he could do, and he's still healthy. And the San Francisco 49ers have nothing on offense, and they have a prime matchup this week. And don't forget who told you to go parlay the heck out of Christian McCaffrey. Don't forget. Come back to the AFCEastieBoys. Make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe. Help us out. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers. The viewer that helps us the most, shows us the most love, gets out there, shares our videos out there in the algorithm, tags us so we know, likes, comments. We got a signed, autographed Mike Gesicki photo going out to that single viewer that shows us the most love. No, Paraco, do not trade Krosky Merritt for Pacheco. I do believe that Krosky Merritt is going to be your number one option running back wise over there and with the Commanders. Do not make that trade. Pacheco Pacheco splits the field with Kareem Hunt, and we seen it last year. Like, the later you get into the season, Pacheco also has been known to get some injuries here and there. Don't stay away. Stay away. Stay away. Stay away. Purdy out. Need a QB. Oh, wait, Laker Nation, bro. I don't have enough time to go back over the QBs, so after this video is over, make sure you go back and check it out and watch it, because I definitely went over QBs and who you should be choosing from your waiver wires for this week if you need a QB for the week. So definitely go check that out, and make sure you smash that like and subscribe on your way. But to answer your question, I would go Lawrence over May. That's going to be a really good game, that Jacksonville game. I have Jacksonville winning that game. For all season. Okay. So it was between Pitts and Ertz, right? For all season. I would go with Pitts. And don't get me wrong, I could end up, by the end of the season, I could end up putting my foot in my mouth, because Zach Ertz had a really impressive season with the Washington Commanders last year. A really impressive season. And Kyle Pitts hasn't really had an impressive season, right, since season 1. But the addition of Deebo Samuel, and I was saying this all offseason, like, people were sleeping on Deebo Samuel. The fact that you could get Deebo Samuel in round 7 was the fucking steal of the century. And for those of you that were paying attention, have been listening, and went and got Deebo Samuel in your draft, and you drafted him late, and you got you a for sure flex / wide receiver too every week lock, you're welcome. And that's why I go Kyle Pitts, just because, like, Deebo Samuel, Merritt, this new Merritt running back that they have, Jaden Daniels, there's just a lot of other. There's way more pieces for the Commanders to utilize. So if you're looking for a season standpoint and not from a game-to-game standpoint, Pitts is your better option. Other wide receiver I have are Malik Neighbors and St. Brown. 4K. I wouldn't switch out St. Brown, and I probably wouldn't switch out Malik Neighbors either. Bucks are playing. Who are the Bucks playing this week? Bro, it's sad that I've actually already went through and did my week 2 predictions, but, like, I'm sitting here and I can't remember who plays who. Houston. Okay, yeah. So they have, like, they do have a stingy secondary. Malik Neighbors. The Giants have a tough matchup in Dallas, though. But Russell Wilson can sling a moonball like no one else in the league right now. And the Detroit Lions, I think, have a pretty prime matchup against Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they play Chicago. Divisional matchup. So, that does change things a little bit, So it's either between Mike Evans or James Conner for the flex position, PPR. Man, I don't want to give you the wrong advice. I don't think you can go wrong with either of those picks, to be honest. I think both of those picks this week will get you 20 points. And that's a good position to be in. Like, you're sitting here wondering, like, who should I play in my flex? Either one of them can get me 20 points. Like, that's a really good position to be in. BTJ, JSN, and JJ in the flex. Do I go Connor and Jalen Warren in the flex? Bro, Cap for Life, I need you. Appreciate you stopping by and keeping the chat rolling. I kind of need you to fill in names for that. BTJ, I'm not. Brian Thomas Jr., I'm thinking. JSN is. I need you to fill me in. Acronyms kind of. Like, there's too many players I can get confused and give you the wrong info, so please give me the full name. Bucky Irving. I think Bucky Irving is good every week. To be honest, you want my honest opinion on that? He's going to be your good consistent 10 to 15 point running back weekly, and you're going to have games where he puts up more than that. But unless he gets injured, I think 10 is your floor for Bucky Irving. What do you have? Do you have two flexes, Cap? Is that what that is? You got two flexes? See, like, I'm looking at JJ and I'm thinking Justin Jefferson. And I know you don't have Justin Jefferson in your flex. Like, there's no way anybody would have Justin Jefferson in the flex. So, JJ. Who else would be JJ? Anyways, while I wait for him to hit me back with that, it's been fun. It's always fun talking football. I love talking fantasy football. I've been playing fantasy football for almost 20 years now. I started back in the Peyton Manning days when it was Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. Like they used to run me through fantasy leagues. I'm pretty sure I was one of the very first fantasy owners to pair quarterback and wide receiver. Now it's so common. It's so common. Almost everybody does it. I can't wait till next week to talk some more fantasy football with you guys. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed it, if I've helped you out, if I've gave you some good advice, help us out. Smash that subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. It doesn't cost you a thing. That like button, you smashing that, helps keep us in the algorithm, helps push us out to other people like you that need this advice. And don't forget, we got a giveaway going on. We're trying to give somebody a signed autographed Gesicki photo. Even if you don't like Mike Gesicki or you don't like the Dolphins, it's worth $100. It's free $100 for you. How do you get it? Well, the one of you viewers, lovely viewers out there that share, like, comment, basically shows us the most love. When we hit 500 subscribers, it's going out to you. And if you live in the South Florida area, AFCEastieBoys, we might deliver it in person. So make sure, spread the love. Tell a mama. Tell your cousins, tell your sisters, tell your friends, anybody who likes football, likes fantasy football, likes AFC East football, likes NFL in general. AFCEastieBoys is your channel, is your go-to channel. Monday mornings, we got you covered on all your weekend matchups. We set you up for the week. We set you up for the Monday night game. We give you our week picks for the week coming up. So, like this Monday, we covered week 1 coverage. We went through, we gave you our week 2 picks, and we got you ready for Monday Night Football. Here we are, Wednesday night, getting you ready for your fantasy league football week before Thursday rolls around. Friday or Saturday, I'll be dropping the actual video of our week 2 picks so that you can have it condensed and you don't gotta cycle through our video from Monday morning. Constantly drop shorts whenever news hits the airwaves. We try to be one of the first ones to give it to you. Oh, I haven't even talked about the best part yet. Live games, play-by-play, reactions from the AFCEastieBoys. Woo! It's a time like no other. It's a time like no other. We get into it. We have fun. We'll be here tomorrow night, so make sure you check us out. 18-man league. Start Perrine or Tyler Batty. Oh, 18-man league. That is fucking deep. What were you thinking? Damn, I'm going to have to run deep down here, huh? You don't have... What are your... Do you have waiver? Like, who's on your waivers? You got Tyler Batty here. Had 2 receptions for 16 yards. Samaje Perine. He had 6 targets, though. I mean, like, just based on that, I would probably go Batty over Perine. I don't even know where Perine is now. And he hasn't really been a lock ever. But in an 18-man league, I imagine you guys are very, very slim points per reception. And he was getting receptions, Tyler Batty. So, and based on the matchup, he could actually complete those receptions. Brian Robinson Jr. Yeah, no, he wasn't talking about Brian Robinson Jr. Samaje Perine. He's still in Cincinnati. I would go Batty. Cap, you got about 4 more minutes to give me the names so I can answer your question. If not, you'll have to hit me up in Discord. But yeah, so make sure y'all smash that subscribe button, because you're not going to want to miss out on any of the AFCEastieBoys action. It's year 2 for the AFCEastieBoys, and it's going to be a great one. And it sounds like we just had somebody hop into the Discord. Nope. No? They did? They didn't. Anyways, yeah. Most of the time, we'll have our Discord open too. Let me know if you're a subscriber. I'll send you the link to join our Discord channel. We put in all our parlays in there. We want to get it active. We're kind of new, so it's not very big and not very built up yet. So please, if you're into fantasy football, please join the Discord. Let's get this Discord channel active. I would love to see it to where when somebody asks a question, I'm not the only one answering the questions, or Waffles isn't the only one answering the question. We want to get other people's opinions as well. That's why we open the Discord when we go live most of the time, because we want y'all to join in on the fun, because y'all's opinion matters as well. We also got the DCC going on, raising money for cancer. Dolphins Challenge Cancer 5K. They do it every year. This is our 2nd year, so go ahead. If you're feeling like you want to help you want to do something for a good cause, hit that QR code up in the top right corner. Go donate some money. We're trying to raise money for cancer research. 100% of your donation is tax deductible, and it goes to a great cause. Somebody you know, everybody we know, is affected by cancer. So please, help the fight. Go hit that, smash that donation button, and do what you can. Even if it's just $1. Every dollar counts. For every $500 the AFCEastieBoys raise for cancer, I personally will be running a mile a day per $500, all the way up until the day of the 5K. And I hope I answered everybody's questions. I hope you guys enjoyed it, most of all. I hope you have good luck in your fantasy leagues this week. And until next time, AFCEastieBoys, well, we out! Awesome, that's for sure. He gets a pass to the left from Tua, about a 4-yard pass, and then he gets about another 16 yards. Yak to add to it. First down, Miami Dolphins. Let's effing go. Yeah. I had to kick Cat in the Hat out. He was fucking boring. I was watching him in the background. He didn't know it, but he was fucking boring. I had to kick him out. Tua under center. Let's fucking go. Mostert with the ball. Ooh, he juggles. He goes to the right. He's rushing. He's got a hole. Oh, he fumbled the ball. Oh, and Buffalo gets the fucking ball back. This is why you gotta trade Raheem Mostert. I'm fucking telling you. Yeah, I'm fucking telling you. Trade that motherfucker. What's up, man? I hope his knee was down. I don't know if his knee was down before that ball came out. Oh my gosh, that's a clear fucking fumble. No way. Oh my god. Mostert. No. No.
Anyways, draft's coming up. A lot of teams need QBs, and you need a job, you bum. Got any teams you hope don't take a QB?
Nope. You know, Matt, I have actually not put much thought into that. I have a lot going on right now, and it's just not. I'm not thinking about it. Not at all.
So maybe the Saints?
We're in the house, and the only reason I got this one, probably a field goal like the rest of the Patriots games have been, but the Jets are going to definitely get a win. And then we start the 1 o'clock slate. They won with Malik Willis, and they did it by running the ball. Tennessee tied with the Titans. And then we got the Bears and the Colts. The ball, so he's kind of went run eccentric over there in the Chargers. And then got the Dolphins going to Seahawks. I got a lot of question marks. Not allowed to score in the second half, and we're going to fix this season. Anyway, so the Panthers and the Raiders. This is, well, not a hard one to call.
I don't know. I may have to switch next year, I'm telling you, man. I can't go through the pain and suffering like this. This is rough. This is a rough fucking year. Yes, it was indeed.
Anyways, yeah, so Cat and Hat here. Goel over there. We gonna break down Wild Card Weekend for you. We got a lot of games coming this weekend. It's gonna be super exciting. We got some upsets for you.
I gotta show up and bring the fun, guys. You know this guy, Cat in the Hat, he boring. Boring.
Can you just be serious for once, Goel? I mean, we have some great games to talk about. Just for once, just let's be serious. Let's talk about some football. Can we do that?
Stout couple of games that they've been playing, but this is going to decide, right now who's going to be second place in the division. So I'm going Jets all the way. Jets, Jets for the win. We're taking it. With the Browns, the Giants have just been a loser fest, and they're going to continue 0 wins, 3 losses. Moving on out of potential with Tua in questionable consideration. Even if they throw in a backup quarterback, they still got a lot of options for him to throw the ball to. They're not going to be as in sync as they were the last couple of weeks, and that's why I'm going with Seahawks over the Dolphins for
you. Now, there's a lot of homework that goes into this. We don't just look at stats and look at numbers. No, we take a lot of factors into consideration when picking these running backs for your fantasy. Tracy Jr. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, what, Cat? Are you seeing his first year ruling the backfield in Miami? He's going to be the number. My next running back on this list at number 3 is B. But, he's going to get the touchdowns. He's going to get the receptions. Trust me, if you get the chance to get him, you're number 1. None other than the king. That's right. Adam Sandler put this guy on a mission this year. This guy is going to literally put the Baltimore Ravens on him. The first guy, he gets past the first guy, it's probably going to turn into a touchdown. So he's 6 once we realize how he comes back off of this injury. He hasn't really had a full year. At your own risk. It could pay off, but...
Sunday at 3 p.m., we're going to have the high-flying Eagles putting their defense to the test against the Los Angeles Rams. Are pretty high scoring, led by Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and they're on a mission right now. They're trying to win another Super Bowl so Matthew Stafford can punch his ticket to the Hall of Fame, because without another Super Bowl, he might not make it there. But them Eagles this year, with Saquon Barkley, I don't know why he's not in MVP conversations with over 2,000 rushing yards on the season. Don't forget that little backwards hurdle he did back in week 8. Oh, it was amazing. So let's go. It's going to be a good one. Good battle between these two teams on the NFC side. Who's going to go to the NFC Championship? Fly, Eagles, fly.
It's going to be in Orchard Park, and it is going to be chilly. Forecast says it's going to be 12 degrees with a wind chill of -2. Derrick Henry pushing close to 2,000 yards. Lamar Jackson. That makes the team have over.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to give you our Week 12 picks.
Yeah, you heard him. Week 12 is in the house at the Dolphins.
Patriots.
You know who I'm going for. I think We need to find a new home for this guy. He's in the wrong house.
No.
Let's go, Dolphins.